Happy April, you guys. Welcome to how to repurpose content using one tool that I have absolutely fallen in love with, and that is Castmagic. I am Janine Biggins with Danso Digital Media Group. I am an AI certified consultant and trainer and digital marketing strategist. And for the remainder of this week, I will be diving into Castmagic, which I've been using for probably 8 months or so, and I have absolutely fell in love with it. One thing about Castmagic, I look and review a lot of tools, and as small business owners, we don't always have the time or the resources to pay, $30 every month for 5 tools or 4 tools or 10 tools. That can really add up. So, what I suggest if you're new to using AI and want to use it for your business, work with maybe one tool or two at the most and see everything that it can do for you. The biggest pain point many people have is repurposing content, whether it comes not just social media, but we're also talking about repurposing content from your meetings and sharing the information out, or if you're a podcaster, an interviewer, a virtual summit producer. So this is Cashmagic. So when you click on the link that I had in my information, it will bring you here to the page. And before you get signed in and start up, this gives you a really good idea of what Cashmagic is about without even signing in and signing up. Okay, you can go through this information. It talks about turning one media file into a bunch of content. Okay, it kind of breaks down in about 6 or so areas, things that you could do. And we are going to get started. Now, these won't be very long because I know your time is valuable. So I'm going to try to touch on different areas of the tool for the next 5 days for you. And if you'll do me a favor, if you want or have questions or want me to talk about a specific area in Castmagic, please feel free to put that below in the comments. And also, if you like this information, it would be really helpful if you let me know if you liked it as well, what you did like, what you didn't like, etc. Okay, this is the first time I'm doing a weeks long tool. Okay, so this is Castmagic. Now, it has a lot to it, so I'm going to try to touch on this and not make it too long. The first thing I did, I made different spaces. So for me, I kind of want to treat my content kind of separated if at all possible. So I have different spaces. I have one for clients, one for Instagram, and yes, you can pull from Instagram Reels, which is one of the things I really love about this tool. Different webinars and training. I am an advisor to DC Small Business Development Center. Um, Also, if I want to do coaching. And also with these different areas, you can create a new space, okay, for the area. And then there are actually these things called presets, and I'll show you that in a minute, where that if you create something in a space and you import it in and say you wanted to have different functionalities, like my presets or information may be different, of course, from my coaching clients versus my, or coaching versus my webinar and training versus my Instagram, okay? So here is the new space. This is the way I start my new space, so because I create the new space that I have. And then for this one, I think we're going to do a new space for, I just call this interviews. Now, this is one of the stronger areas that I love about it, and we'll get into the app in a second. Remember, going to try not to hold you too long because it's a lot. So that's why we're doing this for 5 days. So my new space is called interviews. You can even have it number for you. You can have an episode, or you can make it free form. I'll just do free form. I can add it in. If I have any magic words or things of that sort. You can put that in here, etc. So I'm going to save my space. Now, as soon as you save your space, this is where it really gets good. So they have different profiles, 8 different profiles, and different profiles have different features or auto-generated content, etc. So as you notice, podcast is the first, and initially Castmagic was built to help podcasters, but it has way expanded to that, okay? And these guys are really good about the features. It has an amazing Slack community of about 400 creators that if you're trying to figure out if you could do something or see how different people are using it, that always helps me. So if you're looking at it to do a podcast, these are the different elements of things that it'll break your important information down. Whereas meeting is a little different, right? You see how it changes down here. There's agenda points, there's action items, which is great, timestamps, etc. Customer discovery, a little bit more intense. Summary and sentence, customer insight. So you can see this is really intuitive. Course and webinar. If you're importing a webinar, training that you do. I really find this helpful when I'm doing either trainings myself or sometimes I facilitate trainings for clients. And I will do this, put the information in, and this is a great way for them to repurpose if they have different speakers on the different webinars. This is really helpful because you can send this information to your speakers so they can then market it, okay? There's also a YouTube profile for YouTube. It kind of talks about titles, descriptions. There's a clip find for quotes, etc. There's tweeting, there's threads, and of course, and the one that is really important is timestamps. Coaching. My coaches love this section. It's so hard. I know when you're coaching, you're talking, you may be trying to run notes or whatever. This kind of is your note taker plus or times 10. Okay. So this is other information. Sales calls. This is for my salespeople. Um, it has information. If you have a sales call, you're trying to understand what the potential client wants or how they're working or what their budget, etc. And you can always recap all or some of this. And then there's a custom area that starts off with these particular kind of like high level topics, but then you want to add to it. So remember, I mentioned for this, we said we were going to do like interviews. So in this case, I might use, I can use either meetings or podcasts. I think that would be great because I'm giving the bios, etc. So I'm just going to use the podcast feature there. Okay. And once you do that, then here comes the sweet thing. Now, of course, you're like, okay, Janine, this is great, but how can I import different things? Well, once you set up your space and your different areas that you want to cover the content, then this is where the magic starts, no pun intended. You want to go ahead and import. Now, you have a lot of different options to import, okay? You can pick a link, paste a link from YouTube, Vimeo, Reels, or even TikTok. When I saw that I could do it from Reels, I was really excited because a lot of times I'll be on the go or I'll be waiting somewhere for a meeting. I'll be going through my Reels and I may find something really good that I may want to save, but I don't want to go through saving it in Instagram. I may want to use it for something else. I will save it and then bring it here to Castmagic. Okay, so that's a different thing. So you can paste links from that. You can also upload audio. So if you have an audio file in the form of M4A, MP3, MP4, which is actually a video file, you can pull that in, a WAV file, and an AAC. You just click Browse File here and pull that in. Now, the other part is an RSS field. RSS field. So a lot of this is available on different blogs. For example, let me just give you a quick example. I was working with a client and she wanted to pull 2 pieces of content from 2 podcasts that she was on. The problem was she didn't have the raw file, meaning the import, the MP4, MP3 file. With the links weren't working, anything. So I noticed that they had RSS feed files, which blogs and podcasts do. I pulled it in here and it came in like a champ with no problem. And then the final is Zapier. So you can manage your Zapier integration. I don't have any set up, but that is definitely an option. Okay. So I'm not going to pull one in because it takes a minute, but I want to show you just an idea of what happens. Okay. And then I am going to end this because I don't want to keep you too long, but it's this, we've only talked about just a smidgen. There's so much more. So I'm going to just show you an example. There's a couple of things I did. I did a AI summit and I concentrated on tools back in 2023. Okay. And when I did that, and it shows your recordings here. You can look at all of that. There's different recordings by reels. There's an assistant. Okay. So here is my summit that I did that. Now, if you don't want to match speakers, that's why this is exited out. But I had different speakers that I matched. So if you know it's you are the host and you have another person as a speaker, you can put that in. I think, let me just show you. I think it's going to be a little easier if I show you an actual client. Make it a little easier. Okay, so the first thing you have, and I'm just going to show you around the structure, and then tomorrow we're going to get really more into the nitty gritty of it, because as you can see, it's a lot. Good stuff. So you can match your speakers. So all you have to do, if I know this is a young lady named Alicia, she has a company called, or nonprofit, I See My Baby, that helps women of color with infertility. So she did a webinar and it was kind of middle of the day. And because of that, she didn't have a lot of people on the webinar, but we repurposed it, put it on her website, and it worked like a charm. Okay. So this is all the information. It has timestamps to transcripts. One thing you can do with the transcripts, which is very important, versus you having to pay for another transcription service, pull it in here. This allows you to download the text from the transcript. You could do it with or without timestamps and then these other things. So that's really, really, really big. Okay. So that's one thing you can do. Also, if you want to change the information and switch it up and exclude it, if you exclude it, it kind of X's it out. No problem. Okay. So then you have the AI content section. As you match it, this will kind of put everything all together and generate it. Okay. All the things that we had kind of outlined in the content plan that we wanted, it is all right here, the content profile, I should say. So it will break it down from there. Okay. Then you have Magic Chat. This allows you to, once you import the information from from your file into Castmagic, you can ask it questions. Now, how awesome is that? So these are just some examples. So from this particular I See My Baby, I could put in here, what were the 10 lessons learned that she talked about? It kind of puts everything in one area. Then there's a studio function, but this is fairly new. So if you want to make images and things of that sort, now this is still in the works. It's pretty basic, but you can take the information and you can put something out really, really simple and quick as a good starter out. Also with this information, you can also re-listen to, it has a play button down here. So these are the kind of like the four main areas. You have the transcripts, you have the content, okay? And we're going to delve into these each sections tomorrow a little bit more deeper because I don't want to keep you too long. But over to the left, what I really want to for you to note, there are community prompts. So remember how we went over to the area that says give me 10 things. These community prompts are absolute gold. So what happens is people from the different communities put different prompts in that they use. Okay. So you can add it to the space if you want, and it's already done for you. This community, like I said, is about 1,400 strong of people in the Slack channel. So if you want to go and you're like, oh, I want to know if I could do this, you can do that. You can also schedule an onboarding call. Okay, this is where you join the Slack community, etc. Now, I'm going to close with this today because I don't want to keep it long, but we are going to come back tomorrow. And what I would love for you to do, if you can just comment below, what are some questions you have about using an all-in-one tool like Castmagic? So just to give you an idea, I'm going to run down some use cases for you. Podcasters, this is great for coaches, great for webinar and Zoom hosts, different trainers. Salesmen and women absolutely love this. Of course, social media managers and strategists, interviewers, like for YouTube shows, YouTube producers. Also, administrator and executive assistant. This can be a great tool for you and make you stand